Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. Hey, today I thought I'd talk about my top, I got a cheat sheet here, my top 12 things that I don't like or hate about cell phones and smartphones. I realize I am pissing in the wind here, that the phones have won. Everybody's got a phone and they're going to get more and more common by the minute. Nevertheless, I'm just going to piss in the wind today about cell phones. And Neil, if you feel like tossing in a comment or an amen, yeah, one of those, feel free. Okay, number one thing I don't like about cell phones and smartphones is that people are becoming oblivious to the danger around them. Obviously, when you're driving and texting, which I see all the time. I'm on a bicycle, I don't drive a car. And I see that lane drift, and I start to hang back because I know they're on their frickin' phone, and I see so many people texting and driving or talking and driving every day. Now I understand a quick call, take a quick call, 30 seconds, hang up the phone, great. But I mean conversing, hanging out, texting. They're just oblivious to the danger around them. And it's not just drivers, it's people on their bicycles, it's people on skateboards, it's people walking across the street just glued to their phone, and they're not paying attention to cars. I've seen this too, where someone's crossing the street like this, a car here stops for them, they're walking across the street, and the car in the next lane, usually someone's on the phone or texting, just goes right through the intersection. Doesn't even notice that a car to their right has stopped. Now what if this person's on the phone and this person's on the phone, right? This person's not, because they're actually stopped. Maybe they are, but they're stopped. At least they've stopped. So this person's walking if they're both on the phone. See, doing all this stuff while you're driving is okay as long as nothing happens. If nothing happens that needs your attention, you're okay. And most of the time when you're driving, nothing happens. But when something does happen and you're not present and you're not there, it's dangerous. So number one reason is people are oblivious to the danger around them, and I feel like they're taking theirs and my life and my friends' lives in their hands, and I don't like that. Number two, they're also oblivious to the beauty around them. And here we are in beautiful Lithia Park, one of the most beautiful parks in North America, and half the time when I look around I see people staring at their phones. High school kids come out here on field trips, or junior high school kids, they get out of the bus, they sit down and they look at their phones. Too much obliviousness to the beauty of the natural world and the beauty of life. Too much time looking at the phones. I do not like that. Also, I think people are losing the ability to focus at things like art events, whether it's fine art, paintings, certainly at musical events. I very rarely see anybody listen to a whole song very often. They will have to check that phone within 2-3 minutes. And just general, the lack of focus. They can't take something in that takes a little bit of time and a little bit of a settled heart to do, because they've got to check their frickin' phone. So I've been to gigs where a couple will sit down on a date night and they'll both face me and they'll spend the whole time either on the phone doing their own thing or showing each other stuff on each other's phones. And that's just not much of a date, in my opinion. College classes, people are constantly texting in classes. Whether they get docked for it or not, they can't stop. They've got to do it. So I don't like that it makes people unable to focus for very long. And which brings me to number 4, shortened attention spans. People's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter because they expect quick change. That's the internet in general, but the phone is a mobile internet now, so that just increases that idea that, come on, get to the point. Like, nothing can last more than 5 or 6 seconds. It's like, get to it, get to it, get to it. I don't like that shortened attention span thing. There's a lot of art that you can take in short bursts, haiku, you know, certain types of music, the short bursts, but there's a lot of things that take longer, that take some sustained attention to really enjoy and get, and people are losing that ability. Number 5, it interrupts conversations. You'd be talking to someone, they got to check their phone, they got to check their text, I just don't like the way it interrupts the flow of conversation with actual people. I think it's making us lazy mentally. When you have a question or a problem or any kind of mystery to you, Google it. instantly the information's right there in your pocket. Now I know this is positive too. You're trying to get to a movie, you want to find out when the next show is, click, you can find it, or you're lost, you want to find it. I'm not saying there aren't good things to that either, but the fact that you never have to think about anything when you have one of these phones and you have Google at your disposal, I think in general makes our minds kind of lazy. Number 7, I don't like that for more and more people the cell phone or the smartphone is their primary communication with the internet. It becomes like their primary computing platform. So this is where they do most of their emails and most of their interneting. And what I don't like about it is that an email of more than a short paragraph, to or fro, becomes kind of a pain in the butt, because you're typing with your thumbs and you're reading in 2-point font on this little tiny screen. So anything of any meaning or any depth or any length gets either overlooked. If you write an email to someone and it's 2 or 3 paragraphs, and they might be important paragraphs, I'm not talking about blathering, but there might be important information about something. It's like they're reading it on this little teeny screen and they're going to answer you back in lowercase 3 or 4 words, and so I don't like that. I also don't like that the ringing over interrupts things at events like a theater or a movie or whatever. People who pull them out at movies and do their texting, the screen still lights up, it's still distracting. The way that the ringers go off when you're at a concert or something is kind of a pain. I don't like these overheard unwanted conversations where you're walking down the street and you hear the intimate details of somebody's life. My favorite one is I was coming around the entrance to the park on my bike, and like 30 feet off to the side, a guy is on the phone walking away, and I just hear this loud and clear booming voice. I got an appointment today to have my ass looked at. It's like, too much information, dude. I do not want to know about your ass. It's also bad for your posture. You see people, I just see people all the time in this position. Apparently there's something called text neck. It's like an actual physical condition that they're noticing in people who are doing this. Maybe massage therapists are noticing it, or osteopaths, or people who deal with neck and joint problems. Apparently people are doing this, and there's also a certain amount of thumb tendonitis too, from excessive texting. And what are they texting about? Man, what are you guys all texting about? Do you have to say what's up and nothing? I mean, half the time it's just telling someone where you are. Especially for young people, number 11, just the lack of the diminished amount of eye contact people have with each other now. They would prefer to text. I heard a story about a guy goes into his daughter's bedroom, and his daughter, middle school girl, and another girl are texting together in this dark room, and he asks them, "Who are you texting?" And they both, without looking up from the screen, go like this and point to the other person. So they're texting each other, sitting in a dark room. So I don't like that it's kind of breaking down people aren't getting used to eye contact and what you can read in someone's face and learn about emotion and feeling and what comes from really being in contact with someone in the real world. Don't like that. Also, I think they're, number 12, I think they're addictive. I think that people get hooked on them. I can't tell you how many Facebook posts I've seen. I just got my new i6 whatever phone. I'm addicted. And if you don't think you're addicted to your phone, try leaving it at home tomorrow. Just leave it at home and go through the day the way you used to go through day after day after day, and the way human beings have gone through day after day for thousands and millions of years without a freaking phone and an internet connection. There was an article in the paper just the other day about a woman whose laptop went down, and all about her withdrawal from the laptop. I think that the habit-forming part is a drag, because people can't stop lighting them up. And I don't think it provides any real satisfaction to people. I don't think phones communications are satisfying. I think that they're basically like the new smoking. It's like you get anxious, you check your email, you have the feeling you kind of cleared something up, gives you a little fix, and then you put it away, and then, oh, better check again. And it gives you this little feeling of anxiety relief, and then you go on, but it's not really giving anything really deep or satisfying. And I think the more time you spend doing it, the more prone you're going to be to depression down the line, which I think comes from living an unsatisfying life. Not all depression, don't crush me in the comments about depression, but for a lot of people it's an unsatisfying life, a lack of engaging in something real, something visceral, something physical in your life. And the more time you spend in the virtual world, the less time you're connected to that stuff. So I think, and honestly, I think they're addictive, and I think it can lead to depression. I'm on the internet all the time when I'm at home. I love being on online. I'm not a Luddite. I love Facebook, and I love YouTube, and I like being online. I like communicating that way. But I'll never get a smartphone or a mobile computing platform, because I love the balance of being able to just be offline when I'm out of the house. When I'm out of the house, I am not available. You can't call me. You can't reach me. I'm not online. I have a clear break where I'm 100% in the physical world. I go home, I'm back online, and guess what? I never miss shit. I never miss anything. I never get home and go, oh, I wish I had gotten that email in my pocket 2 hours ago. No, it can wait. You get an important email or an important phone call maybe half a dozen times in your whole life, where time is absolutely crucial. I mean, at least in my opinion. So I love being able to go home and check all that stuff. I love being online at home. I'm online a lot. But when I come out in the park, just 100% out here in the natural world, I love that break. I love that clear split in my life. If I had the internet with me all the time, I'd be like anybody else. I can't resist checking the damn phone. And I'm walking around the sidewalks in other people's way. The other thing I don't like about phones, let's go up to number 13 here, is that when you're on the phone and you're distracted and you're looking at your phone, you're depending on everyone else to not run your ass over, to not bump you off the sidewalk, to not skateboard or bike or crash into you. Everybody else has to kind of watch out for you. And the more people are doing that, the less people there are watching out. Half the time it's me watching out, because I'm biking around these folks. I'm walking around them. I'm dealing with, they're just dead space in the world. They're not in touch with anything. They're just locked into this thing. So the rest of us who are paying attention have to navigate around you. We have to consider you. And if you're on the street doing that stuff, it's dangerous. So we have to watch out for you. And I don't like that I have to do that for someone else who could easily be doing it for themselves. And I prefer to do it for myself. I want to be responsible for myself in physical space. I want to be responsible for my orientation and my physical surroundings. So those are my reasons. I can't think of any more. I'm sure I could if I tried. Now, I'm sure there's lots of benefits, and almost had a car accident. I'm sure there's a lot of great benefits, and I'm sure those of you who love your phones, and I'm sure that you'll never give them up, and I'm sure that this is a losing battle. But I just feel compelled to share my feelings about phones with you. So next time it'll be a music video, or a Tai Chi video, or a nature video, but for now this is what I got. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to my YouTube channel or visit my website, GeneBurnett.com, and thanks for listening to my ranting.